I have been delving into two embodied practices, one in stillness and one in movement. And for both, Zoe Ray represents a kind of nexus where motivation has met with necessity. To be able to love Zoe the way that I want to, I have to find and gather up and love all of those parts of myself that I have turned my back on over the years. All those parts I have abandoned in shame, in neglect, in remorse, seeking solace always by remaining in perpetual motion. And now, as I lie in stillness beside or while breastfeeding my sleeping Zoe Ray, I have found my ultimate stop. And in the stop, I practice a softer way of being. When I find it and sink into the love that creates safety, those lost parts of myself are retrieved, and my heart sighs with the relief found in sanctity, my body relaxing like it never has before. But this is the hardest thing I have ever tried to do, because often, out of the safety slinks all kinds of sad and scary selves, ringing their hands and alarm bells with the darknesses they have been carrying for far too long. From Zoe Ray's arrival to my womb until now, her presence has acted like a scout for these old and buried feelings. I would never have gone to these places that I am now forced to shine light on. Slowly, all of this is shifting as I practice again and again and again, returning to light, to love, to tenderness. I watch the landscape continue to shift and change, and I find ways to pass through. Embodied movement always happens outside, and I turn to the inspiration of the living landscape around me so that I may recall the vitalizing imagery of the natural world while I lie alone with my thoughts and memories in what Celeste has called the fertile dark. In making this video, I seek to create a mood with the inspiration found in words, in the sounds of nature, capturing and conveying the landscape that I am blessed to live with on the territory that was taken from the Snuneymuxw people. Holding all of this with a heart full to bursting, I search for ways to embody mother for myself so that I can be a good mother to Zoe. I look to poetry and poetic prose, imagery and song to create a mood that reflects the inspired state of feeling, of being that I am in a dance with. To help do this in the most evocative and enjoyable of ways, I have sought the help of my good friend and fellow creative Mike Swallow, gifted photographer, videographer, artist, musician, lover of all creatures big and small. Mikey has been with us for every course weekend since Zoe was born. He is the friend who has seen Zoe most consistently through all her developments thus far. As I discover and befriend the tiny part of my own heart in budding love and relationship to Zoe, I practice translating this to my fumbling adult self as I practically explore the question, how can this also be experienced in action, in relationship, in work? These images were captured mostly on walks that Mike and I took together, often with my partner Adam and, of course, Zoe Ray. It has taken a small team to help me represent what I have experienced in solitude, and for this I am so grateful as that relational education continues to be my practice and praxis of listening and responding to what is arising. My hands know the longing I feel, the spaces between the pain. The open skies that come with heart sighs, quiet cries, and the repetition of living this again and again. But there is also recognition, reassurance, a quiet comfort, a joy. These usher in the soft warmth of new tears that penetrate the many years I have held this sense of dread. This is a lightening of the fears that have stayed locked away until the dark descends when I lie shaken in my bed. I have not known the solace of sleep for a long time now. But there is a precious new unveiling and release, as at last sleep returns like the geese. Only the season of this peace has taken a decade. But there is relief through these quiet tears, like a light morning rain that no one sees or hears. I sigh with the wind, I sigh through my longing, as I travel through the tingles, with muffled cries that yearn for belonging, long confined and stuck in places that belong to another time. What story is being told in these cricks and cracks of shoulder, of back? And how can I listen when I can't hear? There is a new wind whispering in my ear that brings a gentle emptiness near. A quiet voice begins to penetrate the incessant white noise of the fear of my mind, singing heart song, like bird song, like baby song. There is a new kindness that comes with learning to listen. This voice is quiet, but it is strong, and it longs to belong. As golden light touches tips of treetops and hot smells of the solstice are carried by the summer breeze, I feel my ancestors in these trees, and there is comfort in knowing that these trees also knew my mother, my grandmother, my grandfather. They knew my mother as a child, they knew me as a baby. I do have relatives close by. I do have relations at my doorstep helping me every day, ready to answer my many questions, respond to my longing for support. I just need to remember to look up and ask. What is the feeling of being held? Held by the earth, held by this existence, held by an unshakable sense of belonging, of knowing that I am welcome in this life. I get up and dance with the dragonflies that fill the skies overhead, bare feet to the earth, toes in the grass, purple wisteria draping lazily over porch eaves. Here, hummingbird returns and pauses in palm tree long enough for me to admire the iridescent shimmer of green birdback. My breath catches as I become aware that I am being watched, and in a heartbeat, the moment has passed. Was I just stared down by a hummingbird? Even while feeling lost and stuck in stale confusion, there is vibrant, oscillating beauty rippling all around me as waves and waves of love are being expressed in each being I encounter. I have felt for some time as though I am relationally challenged, that the paralyzing fear I will often feel in the presence of another has me bound to endless role play. But even as I write this now, I know in my bones that there is an abundance of moments when this is not so. When I arrive at the party as I am and join in the liberation of raucous laughter and shared tears. As I look up this time, I am met by monarch butterfly, majestically fluttering by my pen. There is reassurance of magnificence around every bend in this road. Up I look again, straight into the eyes of a pregnant doe, eating ferns from our garden. And even when our eyes meet, she does not run away. Neither do I. And here I am at last, slow dancing with trees, viscerally feeling the music in the breeze, the gentle sway of branches and leaves. There is an orchestra of hums and whistles and buzzes, the songs of crickets, birds, bees. I allow myself to be brought to my knees as I witness a tiny ant navigate a daisy. Slow dancing with trees. The dance continues, whether or not there is alarming news, and so I continue to watch and listen. There is magic and majesty in slow dancing with trees. The nuances of the song I hear are all new to me, even though I have heard this song maybe 100 times. I choose this. I choose majesty, and within this to be called to take seriously the bugs on a daisy, the butterfly wings that flap lazily. This is not simply nice. This is essential. This is life, where every flap of wing is a grand gesture, every bird song a masterpiece, every heartbeat beating in time. If I only remember to slow down and listen and find myself again in this eternal slow dance with trees. A lived lesson in the profound nature of this beautiful reciprocity. And I wonder, what is the sound, the feeling of this listening?